3, 2, 1, and we're live. Are we live? I think we're live. Are we live? Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, Fabulites. This is Angela with another edition of Notes on the News, where I read to you headlines from my news feed and share with you my thoughts, ideas, perspectives on the news articles, the news headline, the subject matter in general, or whatever happens to come up between these ears or between us here in this live conversation. But it's not news, it's just my notes on the news. Like, share, comment, subscribe, and all of those other good things that we do to help build the channel to the next target of 1,000 subscribers. I hope you're a charter subscriber. You are, aren't you? Okay, I was just checking. What the lynching memorial will force us all to face. Hey! 1,000. We're working on 1,000. Good morning, Brother Yapo. Lynching memorial. Has anybody been there? I've been kind of curious about it. And I'm also curious to know whether, as we continue to, I think we got a brother shot in Brooklyn yesterday. Do we consider that lynching? Are those people part of the lynching memorial? I think it's part of the same shock and awe campaign. I have not. Let's see where the lynching memorial was. Now, they have taken dirt from all over the country at the location of places where people made their transition, having been lynched. When they knew the names of people, they have the names of people on the bottles. And when they don't know the names of people, they, say 2 unnamed people or something like that. Where is the lynching memorial? That was coming off of Black Then. Have you seen any of the stuff about the lynching memorial? I didn't see it in the actual article. They were more talking about the National Memorial for Peace and Justice. Oh, it's called the National Memorial for Peace and Justice. I have heard of it. I'm wanting to visit the Racism Museum in Wisconsin. I haven't heard of the Racism Museum in Wisconsin. The National Memorial for Peace and Justice, opening to the public April 26, 2018. That's like at the end of this month. Will become the nation's first memorial dedicated to the legacy of enslaved Black people terrorized by lynching, African Americans humiliated by racial segregation and Jim Crow, and people of color burdened with the contemporary presumptions of guilt and police violence. Look at them. Work on the memorial began in 2010 when the EGI staff began investigating thousands of racial terror lynchings in the American South, many of which had never been documented. EJI was interested not only in lynching incidents, but in understanding the terror and trauma, this sanctioned violence. I love the language they're using. They seem like they on top of it. This sanctioned violence against the Black community created. 6 million people fled the South as refugees, and I love that too, because that's exactly what happens. We're like, when we're looking at this world refugee situation, we refugees too. Fled the South as refugees and exiles as a result of these racial terror lynchings. Let's see where it is. Set on 6-acre site. Yeah, I need to go. Now, what's going on in Wisconsin? Expecting thousands of visitors to travel to Montgomery. Oh, Montgomery, Alabama. I have family in Evergreen. Okay, so it's somewhere in Montgomery. Japan women ordered from sumo ring during first aid. So something happened in the the sumo wrestlers was wrestling and something happened. Maybe one of them had a heart attack. I mean, I don't know. They just look so big. Are they healthy? They might be healthy. But anyway, so the woman rushed in and was administering first aid. And the people told her to get out because women are impure or impure. They not pure. So get out. We don't want your first aid, your dirty first aid, you woman. That's what happened in Japan. Saudi cinema screens reopened on 18 April with Black Panther. They say that they haven't had movie theaters, screenings in Saudi Arabia since the 1970s. That's a long time. They're like 40, 45 years, 50 years. HSBC, that's a bank. HSBC leaks. Spain holds Swiss bank whistleblower Falciani. I don't know how you pronounce his name. So this person blew the whistle on the fact that a lot of people are doing tax evasion from over 203 countries. And I think that the 1% like represents, you know, a global 1%. I don't think they just here in the United States. They all over the world, and they one collective community of 1%ers in a sense. So they do things like they bank in Switzerland, and they have private bankers who help them to hold their money away from the taxes and to avert the law. A professor put together items of racist memorabilia and made it into a museum. When you get a chance, take a look at the web for it. Jim Crow Museum of Racist Memorabilia. Oh, Ferris State University. My mother went to Ferris State. There's a brother here who does history tours, and he scheduled a tour to there. But I didn't get to go, but I wanted to go. But I didn't, in Wisconsin. It's not in Wisconsin. It's Ferris State University in Wisconsin. It's in Michigan. I think the Jim Crow Museum is in Michigan. That's what I think. I'm going to look it up, though. Hey, Myosha. I don't know why I keep wanting to call you Moesha. Moesha. That was a cute little show. I like seeing cute little wholesome, you know, children. Iranian TV censors Italian football badge. So the Italian, like the team, like the other day on your live when I was falling asleep and waking up, Brother Yapo, because I was tired, not because it was boring, but I woke up and y'all were talking about like family crests and stuff. So this team has like a crest that represents, I guess, who they are. They're called Roma. It's Roma 1927. And their crest has an image that was censored in Iran. You can see it's kind of buzzed out here. But it's some kind of animal, and the people are sucking on the teats, the breastises of the animal. Eagle-eyed viewers have noticed that the Iranian state television censored the logo of an Italian football team during coverages of its UEFA Championship Football League. I don't know what kind of animal it is. Maybe a lion? I don't know. But anyway, the Iranian TV, the government, whoever said, we're not going to have, you know, these teats on the TV. That's not going to happen here. We're not going to have that. We're not going to tolerate it. South Korea University boycotted over killer robots. So it's artificial intelligence that can kill people. It's amazing the multitude of ways that people can figure out to kill. And just keep taking it into the future. Like, you know. Yeah. Google should not be in the business of war, says employees. So I don't know. They got some deal with the Pentagon, and the employees are writing letters protesting. Some of them are not here for it. South Carolina solicitor, like attorney, will no longer release the names of officers involved in shootings. I guess it said unless they've been indicted, not indicted, but indicted might be the same thing. But you know, just like any criminal's name gets listed somewhere, it's like public record. If someone is like, we're going to bring a case against you, then they'll be listed. But other than that, I think he said it's too dangerous. Somebody tried to get one of them people. I'm surprised that somebody hadn't tried to got more than people and got more than people. I mean, I'm not recommending it or anything. I'm just surprised. European tour firm denies Cameroon kidnapping. Now, this is a developing story because we talked about this story a few days ago where some people were kidnapped. I think it was like 18 folks supposedly who were kidnapped. 12 of them were European, and I think 8 of them were Cameroonian. And I was kind of like, the article just seemed to like very much focus on the Cameroonians. But now this is saying that the people were not even kidnapped. This is saying they were stopped. The people held them with guns, and then they moved on, or, you know, they said, we just tourists, or here's some money, or whatever. But they denied the kidnapping. They say that we was not kidnapped. I forgot that a black woman was running ABC. Remember we talked about it, that a black woman, ooh, she's running ABC. Woo! You know, we in charge now. We's running things. Can a black woman running ABC stop Blackish and Roseanne Barr dumpster fire? So, we know that just the other day, not too long ago, an already filmed episode of Blackish was not allowed to air. The theory is that the subject matter of Colin Kaepernick, the people thought it would be too inflammatory, so they said, we're not airing that. And then we heard yesterday, I think, is Kenya Barris leaving ABC to go to Netflix? Maybe he want more freedom. Maybe he want to, you know, we forgot he's working for a black woman. See, it's the institution, not the people. It's not the coon, it's the cause. It's not the coon, it's the corporation. And now this whole thing, I didn't really necessarily take it that way, but now Roseanne is on that network. And Roseanne, the reboot, is causing all sorts of issues. So there was an episode, I guess, that aired this week or something, where Roseanne and her husband woke up, and then he's like, well, how long have we been asleep? What time is it? And they realize they've been sleeping for a couple hours. And he's like, dang, I missed all of the shows. Don't quote me on this, but something to this effect. Dang, I missed all of the shows with the blacks and Asians. Meaning, some people interpret it to mean Blackish and Fresh Off the Boat, which come on that network. Maybe after Roseanne. It might be Roseanne, Blackish, Fresh. I don't know how it works over there. And he said, dang, her husband, Roseanne's husband, I missed all of the colored shows. And she says, don't worry, they're just like us. And so some people felt that was sort of shady, and they were upset by it. They were disturbed by it. I wasn't necessarily upset or disturbed by it, but there was something in this article that I read. Oh, they were talking about the fact that Roseanne Barr had dressed up as Hitler or something. So anyway, that's what's going on over at ABC, run by a black woman. Does she actually run it, or is she a figurehead? She's a figurehead. It's not her corporation. She's a, like the president of the United States. They put people in leadership, but are they really the leaders? And particularly, there's been a lot of research that's been done that shows that if the leader is a white man, basically everybody can figure out how to get on board. If the leader is a woman and or black, then people feel, and if it's a black woman, I'm sure it's like worse. But a lot of people, i.e. Men and white folks, have a hard time following the leadership, and they feel like they're being displaced. And so there's like a whole bunch of like undermining and BS, hey Andres, that goes on, so that it's not like, yay, we got a leader. It's kind of like some stress and drama. So I'm sure she has a lot going on over there at ABC, trying to run this white corporation. And she probably trying to be progressive, I guess. I don't know who she is. But even if you're trying to be progressive, they looking at you with an extra thing. Oh, you trying to favor the women and get rid of all the men. Oh, you trying to favor the black people and get rid of all the black people. So no, I'm not favoring women. Oh, no, I'm not favoring black people. Oh, no. I'm here to maintain the mantle of rich white men with property and power. That's what So anyway, yeah, she ain't running it. I mean, you know what I mean. But still, we still like, oh, she's, we still want to look and be like, yay, she's going to save us. She's not going to save us, and it's not our institution. It's not for us. It's not, it's sort of like, yeah, we can get to be president, but it's still not our country. This country is not for us. It never has been. And will it ever be? I think not. Movie Pass Here we go talking about MoviePass again. MoviePass acquires MoviePhone and Move to lure subscribers and increase ad revenue. I used to love MoviePhone. Did you ever use MoviePhone? I used to call up and I would know exactly when the movie was starting, and I could buy my tickets on the telephone for the movie. And when I got to the theater, I would just put my credit card in the machine, and my tickets would pop out, and there would be long lines of people waiting to buy tickets. But I didn't have to wait because there was hardly anybody getting their tickets from the machine. It might be 2 people in front of me, maybe, but usually I could just walk up, get my tickets, and go in the movie. And I never had to worry about, I don't get excited. And this was years ago. This is when I lived in New York. I never had to worry about, like sometimes you go to the movies and you wait in the long line in New York, and then you get to the front and be like, I want to see whatever movie you want to see. They'd be like, it's sold out. Or you would already see it as you're getting closer. And you'd be like, dang, I done waited in this long line, so I guess I'm going to go see something. But I never had to worry about that. I bought my tickets on MoviePhone. I used to love me some MoviePhone. And y'all know I've been stalking MoviePass. So it's kind of like, shoot, give me 5 or 10 years and I'm going to have me a MoviePass. Just give me 5 or 10 years. I'll be on it. Turkey University gunman kills 4 in Eskişehir. You were one of the smart ones. 4 people have made their transition. I'm not sure what's going on at the Turkey University in the country of Turkey. So peace to the families of the people who made their transition. Peace to the people who have or are making their transition. And to all of us. Why are they killing people at the university? We trying to go to the university to learn and grow and advance. Don't kill me. I just want to study. In advance, I don't know. So I don't know what's going on. NYPD fatally shot bipolar man carrying a metal pipe. Of course, this is the story. I don't know if y'all heard the story, but they say that he was holding the pipe like, and they were, say it with me now. Oh, wait, we got the recording. They were afraid for their life. I haven't really read the story, but I'm assuming that's what they're saying. So, well liked in his community. Let me find out the brother's name. So rest in peace to him. The shock and awe campaign continues, but I've opted out, and I hope that all of us will opt out of the shock and awe campaign and move on to the next level. I think it's, time is done. Time is past for being, I don't know why I done latched on to that, but for being shocked and awed, and it's time to move on to something else. Okay, it's shocking. It's upsetting that, this is happening. Now what? What's the next plan? Crown Heights. That's the neighborhood around where I used to live and work. I did work in Central Brooklyn for years. 33-year-old resident. He has a nickname, but his name was Shaya, S-H-A-Y-A, Tenenbaum. Oh, wait. Hold on a second. I'm so confused. No. That's not, I'm sorry. That's not who made his transition. His name, I guess his father's name is Vassell. His biggest fear for his son unfortunately materialized. I don't know why I can't find the man's name. I must have missed it at the top. Oh, his name is Saheed Vassell. He was 34 years old. He was killed around 5 p.m. Yesterday in Crown Heights, Brooklyn. One thing I do want to say about this is, so again, rest in peace to brother Saheed Vassell, who made his transition yesterday, or started making his transition yesterday. Greetings, Leo. Welcome on the chat. And, peace to his family and his community. It's a thin line to walk. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'm becoming desensitized. I don't know. Because I do feel like, it just kind of wears on you and I can't. But I do want to say this, that what we focus on grows. And so what we invest energy in grows. If we plant the seed and we give it water, we give it air, we give it air, water, sun, you know what I'm saying? We send it vibrations. That's what grows. So when his father said, my biggest fear materialized, I want us to be conscious of what we're focusing on. And, are we focusing on, because sometimes we can materialize our biggest fear because we're feeding that, because we're giving it energy, because we're watering it, because we're giving it sunlight. And so let us give energy to, water, and give sunlight to our greatest love. Let's focus on those things. Let's put energy into that. So, let's love and celebrate the life of the person who made this transition. Saheed Vassell, I think it's the brother's name. We all know, or I don't know if we all know, but my belief certainly is that if we are born, we're going to die. So those things that are born, they're going to die. So we're all going to make our transition at some point, and may we make our transition having made a contribution to our families and our communities and to the world, and having been in alignment with God's plan for us. I was talking this morning, I said, that song, God's Will, and my mother said, God's Plan, and then I felt really old because I didn't know what the song was called, but you know what I'm saying. Yeah, trying to push, it is. And, I don't know, we all have to figure out, where we are, and how we move in the world. And some people's fears are inside of their head, but anything that exists in this world started off in somebody's head. So if you're looking at a table, it was somebody's idea. If you're looking at a phone, it was somebody's idea. Facebook Live was somebody's idea. This earring was somebody's idea. Anything that is going to exist in the world existed first in the mind and in the spirit. And so what's in our mind and our spirit can exist in the world. So let's focus on growing and giving energy to what we like to exist. Thoughts are things. Thoughts become things, So let's grow and magnetize. Let's celebrate. I don't know, him, but I have heard, one good thing, that he was well liked in his community. And so, let's celebrate the contribution that he made, and to me, and let us be inspired to continue to fight for, to continue to fight, and continue to fight, not against, but continue to fight for. Yes? Yes. Okay. Bill Gates says he now lumps the world into 4 income groups. Here's how he breaks it down. So instead of developed and undeveloped, he has 4 income groups, which I actually thought was interesting. Now, when I went to read the article, somehow I could only get to 3. Something happens with my internet, especially on my phone. It only goes so far. So, or I don't know if it's the internet or my BlackBerry or what. But the first group, level 1, he calls it, is people who live on less than $2 a day. About 1 billion people are living below this threshold. They get around on their own 2 barefoot feet, cook over an open flame like a cook fire, fetch water in a bucket, and sleep on the ground. Level 2, this is the income group where the majority of the world's people live. They get by on between $2 and $8 a day and might have some possessions like a bicycle, a mattress, or a gas canister for cooking at home. Level 3, and I think this is probably where most people in the United States are. This is the second most populous category. Live on anywhere between $8 to $32 a day. How much do you spend a day? Do you know? Have you ever tracked it? Are you aware of it? They have running water, might own a motorbike or a car, and their meals are rich and a colorful mix of foods from day to day. They also probably have electricity and a fridge, which makes things like studying and eating very nutrients easier. So now this is interesting that Bill Gates, a member, isn't he a member of the 1%? I think that Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation are over in Africa trying to do these GMO seeds and all of this shenanigans. So look at this, level 4. This is the 1 billion of the world's people. They make $32 a day or more. So he done lumped the 1% in with me. Bill Gates or whoever is doing your research, sir, please, they need a whole nother level for the 1%. I don't, but anyway, I just thought that whole thing of, wow, how much do I live on a day? Wow, okay, I don't get around mostly. I do like to walk. I just came back from a walk. You know, I like to walk. I like to get around on my own 2 feet. But you know, it was just interesting. I have water, you know, I'm not getting it out of a bucket, but you know, so anyway, they make 32 or more a day, have things like running water, both hot and cold. And we were talking about moving to, right, Billy. Mr. Gates. Oh, I actually kind of like Billy. It's a little bit disrespectful, isn't it? We were talking about moving, you know, like relocating to other places in the world. My mother was like, yeah, but some places they don't have hot and cold water and, you know, or running water. And I was like, you know, the thing about it is I spent a little bit of time in Jamaica. And when I was in Kingston, the house that I was in did not have, you know, the water was kind of cold. And your skin is popping. You sitting here trying to compliment me while I'm trying to get work done. Thank you. That's my mama. She got my back. Her husband took those pictures when she was doing a one-woman show 29 million years ago that he wrote. So they were trying to find a picture for her. So this is a collage he put together. You see it's falling apart. But I like the idea of my mother having my back, and my ancestors got all our backs. Oh, so she was like, oh my gosh, you know, in cold water. And I was like, when I was in Jamaica, the weather, the environment, whatever, it was kind of like it wasn't really a big deal. You know, like what seems like a big deal in the context, it's a whole different, you know, like it's, yeah, if you in the Midwest and you just got cold water and you try and take a bath in winter, that's kind of a whole different situation. So anyway, that's what old Billy Bob, what's his middle name? Is it William Robert Gates? That's what old Billy Bob is over there talking about. For 17 years, Vanessa Potkin has been exonerating the wrongly imprisoned. So what have you been doing for the last 17 years? What's your legacy? If you were to like look back at like, you know, your body of work, what have you done? How are you adding value? Are you adding value? What's going to be your legacy for the next 17 years? 17 years from now, you want to look back and say, this person for 17 years did, what is it? What you doing for your family and your community in the world? Sierra Leone election. Julius Maada Bio fast tracks presidential oath in a hotel. I was kind of surprised. He was sworn into office 2 hours after he got elected, and he barely got elected. It was like 52% or something like that. His opponent is like, I'm protesting. I'm, you know, contesting, not protesting. I'm contesting. I contest. But the Constitution says that the people have to be sworn into office, I think, by midnight. So I don't want to transition and have not made some kind of impact. Well, you have made an impact, Brother Yapo. Everybody makes an impact. But what kind of impact are we making? The museum is in Big Rapids, Michigan. See? Because he was doing tours in the region. Yeah, I want to go to the gym. I've heard of the Jim Crow Museum, and I want to just go because you are making a positive impact. But yeah, I think it is like that's where I think the consciousness is. How can you increase the positivity of your impact? How can you add value, more value to the lives of more and more people? You know, what's your unique je ne sais quoi that you bring to the table that nobody else can bring to the table? What's your assignment from God? What you supposed to be doing? Are you on task? Are you on mission? Are you on purpose? Or you just accidentally just stumbling around? But are there any accidents? There might not be any accidents. I don't know. I'm just saying. But anyway, yeah. Let's try to increasingly be conscious of, you know, what we're doing, how we're adding value, how we can add more value. And how we can contribute. So yesterday I had 40 ounces of water. This is the food report. I had 6 servings of fruits and vegetables, so I did meet my thing. I had 4 dates, 1 grapefruit, 2 carrots, and 8 dates, and some kale with some eggs. I'm a philosopher. Am I? Maybe. I wanted to study philosophy, but I never did. It was too. But when I read Octavia Butler's parables, that's what I loved. Her, like, the young woman was like writing, you know, God is change and change. I was like, ooh, I really gravitated toward that. I was at the museum yesterday, and usually what we do is we park. I'm struggling in the part of my life just a fly on the wall. Yeah. Well, I mean, I think, and I don't want to say we all struggle, but I feel like, you know, the work that we have, we all are doing the work. And sometimes the work goes smoothly and sometimes the work does not go smoothly. But just trust your process, you know, and just ask the questions. A lot of times they say when you ask the universe for something, the universe will answer. So, you know, you might walk by and a book fall off the shelf and hit you on the head, and that's exactly the book you needed. Your food report. Also, I was going to say I was at the museum because they did a thing on the murderation, the plot to kill Martin Luther King yesterday. And instead of, usually when we park, the place where we park, we will go into the place and purchase something so that then we can say we are a customer of that place. I'm not telling you what place it is because, you know, and then we go on to the museum. But instead of purchasing something from the place, I just brought my 2 carrots with me, and I had a bag of dates with me, so I ended up eating a whole bunch of dates. I ate a whole bunch of dates yesterday. See, that's my sweet tooth. It's like, but I don't know if I can just like eat dates with impunity. Like, I don't, because I've been eating a gazillion dates. Yep, different stages of our journey have different speeds. Ooh, and it was something it was something on my it was something I wanted to talk about too. I thought I had pulled the article out. Yeah, it was something just about exactly that. That some things grow fast, some things grow slow, and you know, sometimes in your life is fast, sometimes in your life is slow. It's all good. It's all God. Just relax and enjoy. Have fun. Can you have fun? We having fun? Okay. You having fun? You having fun? Okay. So that's what I did. So I'm excited about that. I gotta get on my water today. So when I leave here, I'm gonna be on my water. I went and I did this yesterday at the museum. One of my mother's friends has a show called Wake Up Detroit. And so she booked us for the show to promote Shrek the musical coming spring 2018. So since I'm the producer, or one of the producers, I had to get up early this morning to go on the TV show. Wake Up Detroit! I didn't get to say Wake Up Detroit, but Joanne Watson, she was a councilwoman here. It was her show. And I've never seen her show, but I know she says, Wake Up Detroit! Picking up lemons today. I will be trying your lemon thing. Oh, I want to hear about it. Try to get organic if you can. So then you can, you know, wash them real good and put them. Is there a way for us to see the broadcast? I'm hoping that I'll be able to get it and throw it on my Facebook page because it's you know, I want to be able to promote it. They were selling, like, I could have made a donation. We could have made a donation to the station and got a copy. But I'm like, a copy of what? Like, what am I going to? But they do have a YouTube page. It's called TV33 or something like that. I'll have to look because I joined it while I was there so that I could watch for it. So I could promote it on Facebook and Twitter. Philippines to temporarily close popular tourist island Boracay. You've got great energy. Thank you. So the tourist island, I can't remember why they closing it. I think it's because of pollution. And that just sounds really unappealing because I've been trying to talk about, okay, I'm about to go someplace. And then one of my cousins is like, oh, we should go to Virginia to see, you know, my first cousin who's like my sister who has children and grandchildren. And I looked up and realized the other day I saw a picture of you know, my mother was like, oh, that's the granddaughter and the son. I'm like, Kim does not have a granddaughter by that. And then it's like, I realized, dang, I got to go spend some time because we getting fuzzy about who our people are. We got to know who our people are. We got to go spend time. So one of my cousins said, oh, let's go to Virginia. So I'm like, oh, I can go to Virginia Beach. I could put my water in the feet and, my feet in the water. I could put my feet in the water and I could wear a bikini and get some sun and sand. But I'm like, am I going to get in the water in the United States? I don't know if I've ever done that before. The last time, make sure your fruit have seeds because most GMO fruit doesn't have seeds, which is strange. So no on seedless, yeah. And I saw somebody posted on Facebook the other day. She's like, I accidentally got some seeded grapes. Who eats these? And I was like, me? Who eats? What is a grape with no seed? What's a watermelon with no seed? That's suspicious. And that's what I was talking about, these bananas, why I stay away from them, even the ones that say organic. You can get bananas that have seeds occasionally, but it's rare and rare. They be little black. They almost look like if you work with vanilla, little black. But some of these bananas don't have seeds. What are they doing to these? That's why I'm suspicious of these bananas. And then I said on my video that while I'm waiting for it to turn brown, it's still yellow, but I meant it's still green at the top. How is it brown, yellow and brown polka dots and still green at the top? I'm suspicious of bananas. But yeah, get seeded food. I agree 100%. Oh Lord, has my things. So I was thinking I would go to Virginia Beach, but I don't know. Why are you reading this? I'm talking to Leo. I'm reading it because it's on my thing and I can read it and I got eyes and I can see. That's why. Okay, but then it's like when I go out of the country, I figure, shoot, I could get in the water and just be safe and it's good. But now I'm kind of like looking at this Philippines thing. Concerns to damage to its once pristine shores, turning into a cesspool. Like a lot of these tour ships, a lot of people like to go on these cruises, and these tour ships are just like pollution. They just be dumping stuff all in the oceans and by the islands, and it's a mess. It's a mess. It's a mess. So anyway, 500 tourist-related businesses. They're not sure how they're going to do the shutdown, if they're going to do it incrementally, like shutdown. But anyway, it just makes me kind of like, I mean, I don't want to be someplace polluted. Like we were talking, or I don't know if who I can't even remember whoever, we were talking about India and about, yay. I had a goal to be the most positive person that I know. So I really had to cultivate. I had to cultivate. So thank you. I appreciate the feedback. That means I accomplished some of what I set out to do. What would you do with free money? So again, this is talking about not exactly like the system where they just there are some systems. What is it called? Where you just give people money. Somebody in California is trying to do that too. Instead of giving them money for food or giving them money for healthcare, you just give people money and let them spend it on what they need to spend it for. And they've done this throughout the world. There's a term for it, but I can't think of it. But in Kenya, I think this one is in Kenya, they're doing it. Just giving people money and letting them figure out whether it's for their children's education, for healthcare, or, and part of what we do with poor people, or, what society does is it's like you want to regulate and just be all on people. Just because somebody has less money than you, they're less smart and they don't know how to run their life. Teach a man to fish and he will eat fish the rest of his life. Oh, no, he will eat the rest of his life. I would like to help Black orphan children in America. Are you a foster person? A foster mom? Do you watch This Is Us? Villagers, to see what happens when charity cash goes directly to the people who need it. So anyway, it's called universal income. So there are all of these universal income experiments going on, throughout the world. And there's a Black mayor in California someplace, and he did he raised money on, like, you know how they put up pages like donate money to my cause. What is it called? You know, it's a couple different things. GoFundMe. He raised money almost on GoFundMe for his universal thing for his community, and the people are still like trying to be like, I don't even know if he's still mayor, because the last I heard they were trying to get on him like, why is he giving away our money? But he had raised money like, you know, I might have gave him $20 for the universal income. So what would you do with free money? If somebody, yeah, but also some people don't eat fish. What about me? Can you teach me how to garden? Christine Birch departing as domestic marketing chief at Sony. She looked like a brown woman to me, black or brown. What a 160-year-old skull tells us about a mutiny in India. Now, I don't know why I love a mutiny, probably because I'm like, you know, rebellious. But like, what if I was running something and the people mutinied on me? I probably wouldn't like a mutiny then, would I? I don't know what the skull tells us about a mutiny. But I always like, you know, the idea or the image of, you know, enslaved Africans. Like, you know, like if you watch, dang, what was that show dang. Anyway, there was an episode of that show. Dang, what was that show called? It was so weird. It was like on FX or something. But there was an episode of the show where it showed some like enslaved Africans. At the beginning, they would have like different gods, representations of God. So there were like some enslaved Africans, and they were on the ship, and one of them was praying like a Nazi. Oh my God, get me out of here. My mama can't find me. My daddy can't find me. Get me out of here. Oh, and then a Nazi showed up. You know, it was a spider crawl, and then he became a man in like this old fancy like suit, I think from like the 1920s Harlem. Somebody told me, I did a review on it. I still can't remember the name of the show. And then he's like, basically a Nazi is like, you can pray all you want, but this is not a good situation, and it's not getting better anytime soon. And at the end of the episode, they had burned the ship down. Remember we were talking about Mary Thomas and fire burn it down. They had burned it down. So, you know, I always think about like mutinies, and, you know, I guess some people, I imagine probably more than we get to hear about, because they don't want you getting that information, got them ships and turning them ships around and went home, and like all of the different ways that we fought and protested and mutinied and, you know, did not go along with the program. I do not consent. I do not consent. My name is my own. And I can't tell you who in the hell set things up like this. But I can tell you one thing. My resistance, my daily and nightly resistance may very well cost you your life. Dang, poem about my rights. Dang, I missed my poem. It's like keep coming up. But anyway, yeah, that's why I like a mutiny. Okay. Watch how these neighborhood men jump into action when they see a black woman being attacked. I don't know what the situation is, and I'm assuming these are black neighborhood men. I think I might have hit on just to see the imagery. But how often do we hear, this is like, I feel like in the last week, I reported on 2 black daddies who saved their baby girls. They ended up making their transition. I'm sorry to hear that. But 2 black daddies who saved their baby girls. And now we got black neighborhood. Yeah, this is coming from Tariq Nasheed or something. He's, but 2 jumping in to save, you know, help a sister out. If you see me on the street, somebody jumping on me, you jump in. Don't be letting nobody beat me down. Don't let nobody attack me and you see it. You don't do nothing about it now. So anyway, I don't have the image on this yet. But yay, I don't know who the neighborhood men are. We're quick to jump to the defense of a black woman being assaulted by a white man outside of an apartment building. That's right. And be quick too. Don't be like, well, let me do 16 hours of research. If you see me getting my behind beat, I don't care. Jump in. Yes. This is infinity hand claps for the men. Okay, so that's coming off of Atlanta Black Star. A student shot 5 times while protecting his classmates during the Parkland school shooting finally got out of the hospital. And I thought that was interesting too, because he was shot 5 times protecting the other people. Now, we were talking about we were talking about like the children, like the teacher who said to the children, well, kids, you know, little kids, I'm your teacher, but I am in a wheelchair. So if somebody come in here shooting, y'all save yourself. Don't worry about me. And the kids were like, well, teacher, we already talked about that last week and we said we gonna save you. And it's like, that's sweet. That's the spirit to me. You know, if we ain't here for each other, who we here for? I always joke my dog, like if something falls, Bella, run. I'll be like, don't worry about me, Bella, run and save yourself. Oh, dog. But imagine the spirit. Now, I'm not saying that everybody is a hero, or, you know, we don't know how we're going to respond when, you know, when the stuff hit the fan or when the bullets are shooting. You know, I wouldn't be offended or upset if anybody was like, oh, shoot, and just ran and saved themselves. But like, imagine, like, who is this person? Like, what kind of spirit do they have that they like were trying to save and shield other people? I mean, that's really like awesome and amazing to me. Was too chicken to go in. Yeah. And again, that's what when we talked about the cop, I'm like, shoot, I mean, that's like what training is for. That's what simulation is for, theoretically, so that, like, you know, like when we talking about martial arts training, so you know, okay, you know, your natural impulses, they grab your hands, you fighting, let go of my hands, let go of my hands. But don't do that. You know, your head is free. Use your headbutt them. Your feet are free. Step on their feet. You got to train yourself sometimes. But then some of us maybe are just natural heroes. But I just applaud. I think it's awesome and amazing. And I think it's extraordinary. I think that's extraordinary. I mean, I don't know. Maybe that's normal. But I just applaud that spirit in all of us. May we all, you know, be community oriented in that way. New York NYPD officer shoot, kill mentally ill black man who was holding pipe. We talked about that earlier. It was probably on my timeline a lot because I do it at different times. St. Louis man is dedicated to changing the image of streets named after Dr. King. Do you have a Martin Luther King Drive in your community, a Martin Luther King Boulevard? Because in every community I've been, I think we all have it in us. For some of us, it's just more on the surface. And I think we have to cultivate it too. And I think when people tell you, you know, I think that there's like a cultivation of selfishness in this society, I think. And I think people tell you, you know, I think there's like a lot of things that tell you, you know, you can't make a difference for other people. So just worry about yourself. So yeah, we embrace a whole different system. And we support and encourage that in the children. I work with young people forever. And my experience, I have always thought that young people were like really the nicest, sweetest people out here. I mean, in general, I think people are nice and sweet. But when people are like, kids are mean, I'm like, no, they aren't. I haven't had that experience. I think in theory, except that, you know, I think there's like, you know, like I want multiple businesses to have my own black orphanage with all black staff and no government support. Yeah, I like that. I always wanted to have a black, kids are honest. But I think that if we look at the system, like on the surface, it's like, well, the cops are here to protect and serve. But that's like propaganda. Actually, I don't believe that the cops are here to protect and serve. I think that the cops are here as a force of the government to instill fear in people and to keep the poor people in line and to protect the property and the lives of the wealthy. And so I feel like if you look at, and then also the cops in this country in particular, and maybe throughout the world, have a legacy of being bounty hunters, i.e., you know, me and you as the bounty. They come in to get the property of the rich white men with property and power back that tried to get away, or they trying to keep us in line. So they could come. There are a lot of dynamics. Suppose I had laid down my life jumping in front of the billets met for 7 o'clock. Clark, it gets muddy in that case. So, and the cops are, you know, they're doing, the wealthy call cops and military men, they're dogs. They're doing exactly, really, they're doing exactly what they were designed to do. Like, you know, the system is not, that's a whole conversation. The system is not, like, it's not really broken. The system is kind of doing what it's supposed to do. Now, we can pretend that the system is broken and we can, like, engage in this process of, like, trying to make things a little bit better. But at core, I don't know, like, it's sort of like putting a Band-Aid on the stuff. I mean, I guess it's better than no Band-Aid, but really, you know, you need to just amputate that arm or start over or something. So I don't know. I mean, I think they specifically seek out crazy people and mentally ill people, people who, you know, want to be in power over people. I think they encourage it. They support it. You know, my mother was just talking about, my mother was just talking about the fact that they never, you know, prosecute these people for perjury when they lying on their reports. That's because the system is doing what it's supposed to do. The prosecution of people for perjury is for me and you, not for them doing their job. So do you have a Martin Luther King Street in your community? I have everywhere that I've gone, wherever there's a Martin Luther King Street, it's in the Black community, and it's usually like one of the worst streets. Is that how it is in your community? Do you have a Martin Luther King Drive, a Martin Luther King Boulevard? Do you have a Malcolm X Street in your community? Is it a nice place? I just thought it was really interesting that this person was dedicated to, you know, Martin Luther King Drive, was conscious of that. Now, in Georgia, in Atlanta, they have a whole bunch of peach tree. But I was going to say in India, it's like Mahatma Gandhi. Like, just like in Atlanta, if you've been to Atlanta, or to me, going to Atlanta, it seemed like it's Peachtree Drive, Peachtree Street, Peachtree Lane, Peachtree Boulevard, Peachtree. Oh, you're from London. It just seemed like it's Peachtree everything. It's very confusing to me. And that's how it seemed like it was in India. Like Mahatma Gandhi this, everywhere you looked, it was like Mahatma Gandhi. Like, you know, one of my friends came here and somebody told her to meet me at the Coney Island, and she thought it was just one Coney Island. It was a whole bunch of Coney Islands. So she was like, oh my God, there's a bunch of Coney Islands in Detroit. I'm like, yeah, you ain't asking what Coney Island. I didn't know. I just thought it was the Coney Island I had seen. So anyway, I like the idea of somebody, you know, that's what they felt called to do. And I feel like, you know, if we're going to honor our ancestors and the legacy of people, let's, you know, honor it. You know, it's sort of like if you go to the gravesite of your people, do we go to the gravesite of our people? Do we call the name of our people? Do we take care of the grave sites of our people? Are we memorializing and respecting our ancestors? How are we memorializing and respecting our ancestors? And how can we do a better job of that? Most White House email domains could be vulnerable to phishing. As in phishing, you know, like where they still get information from you. That whole situation. Colin Kaepernick's girlfriend, why don't she have a name? Secures a new deal on NBC network. I don't know what the child's name is, but the IRS isn't calling you. It's a scam, and here's what to do if it happens to you. Now, my mother's husband thinks that the IRS has called him, and I told him the IRS is not calling you. If they've written you a letter saying that you owe them money, do you owe them money? You file your taxes every year. The IRS is not calling you. It is a scam. Don't participate in that. So anyway, this is coming off of Google. And I'm like, yeah. And then even when it happened, I'm looking it up. I'm like, the IRS sent people letters. Usually, they ain't calling you. So spread the word. Racial bias in school discipline continues and is worse than is feared. So we get punished more and we get punished harder for the same offenses that other people have and do. I always think about this article. This was years ago. There was this woman who's I think we heard about this child. He was like 5 years old. He got suspended from kindergarten. I'm like, what administrator or teacher is suspending a child from kindergarten? What kind of foolishness, what are they doing? It's not the child, it's something wrong with the adults in that situation. It was obvious. The woman, when it happened to her, she said she felt bad because she said she was a bad kid and she felt like her kid was a bad kid, and that, she was embarrassed and she felt bad, and she just was like, well, he's bad, he got suspended. Then she was at a birthday party with some of the other parents in the school, white parents, and found out that their children had done the same thing that her child had done, but their children had not been suspended. Okay, I might try to show them some of the videos. That's a whole nother conversation. But that's a good suggestion. I appreciate that. So, dang, I was in the middle of saying something about something. Oh, so she like go to this birthday party and she find out that the other kids, whatever her kid did that was so bad, her child did that was so bad that the child got suspended. The other parent is like, my child has done that and never got suspended, the white parent. And then she started to realize, oh, so my child, my little black boy is getting suspended and criminalized and traumatized at 5. He's already in the school to prison pipeline at 5. And the other people are doing the same thing, and they cool. So, I mean, it's not necessarily new. It's SSDD. I guess somebody just did some research on it. It's coming off the grill. So, it's worse than we feared. And were we fearing it? I don't know if I feared that it was bad. I just knew that it was bad. A&E terminates its Project Runway deal with the Weinstein Company. My mother likes Project Runway. I like to watch the runway shows. And I like some of the stuff. It's like it moves so pretty when it's on the runway, but then when it's standing still, it don't really do anything. I like stuff that like looks pretty when it's on the move and when it's standing still. That's just me. That's who I always vote for. I don't have a vote. Facebook drops a bombshell and says most of its 2 billion users may have had their personal data scraped. We're so shocked and surprised. We had no idea. An Instagram message may have helped New England Patriots receiver Julian Edelman stop a school shooting. Somebody inboxed him and they like, is somebody in your comments talking about they gonna kill somebody? And so his comment section is really, really big. He had his assistant go through the comment section, and sure enough, they found somebody who's like said something to the effect of, I'm about to shoot up a school. Watch the news. Who say that? And so they gave the information to the cops. So they saying that they may have stopped the school shooting. The callers 9 times out of 10 from India with the heaviest accent. Oh, you talking about the IRS scam? Really? So anyway, and a lot of these people who do these like these shootings and stuff, after the fact, they find that, they have, I wonder if this could have become a Scanner Darkly. I don't know what that means. It sounds like a movie reference, but I don't know what the movie is. A Scammer Darkly. But they put out like these, like, I'm gonna kill people, like, and I don't know, maybe everybody, like a lot of people do it who don't actually end up killing people, or maybe, there's like a direct correlation to people who say, I'm about to shoot up a school, watch me, and people who actually go and shoot up schools. But anyway, that's what had happened there. Bow Wow names new album, speaking of people who are crying for help, Odysseus, suicide spelled backwards. So last week, Bow Wow was on his social media talking about, I shouldn't be alive. I'm not contributing anything or whatever. Nobody likes me. Y'all, you say you like me and then you just let the bloggers just dog me out or whatever. And I was like, I hope that somebody in his family or somebody in his, is the biggest movie buff. I hope that somebody in his family or his community who can lay hands on him is like, dealing with him and processing what's going on. It's a movie about a future where people are encouraged to tell on the behavior of their neighbors, neighbor against neighbor, family against family. Tell on them. Rat them out. That's what I was trying to think. Get them. So Bow Wow is out here. It sounds like asking for help. Like if he's doing it because he needs attention, like something is not right with that situation. Like if you like, I'm gonna kill myself just to get attention, something is wrong. You need to get some attention in some healthy way. And if you really are trying to kill yourself, I just hope that somebody in his community, his network, his people, people policing people. I hope that somebody, you know, in his zone will yoke the young person up, and and also that we don't have to, like, that if we do shout out for help on social media, breeding contempt among civilians, between civilians. That if we have to shout out for help, that there are people who will help us, but that hopefully we don't have to shout out for help into the internet. That we, have communities and like real life people who we, are connected to too. But wherever we ask for help, may we receive help and support. Okay. Hey! I don't see that. I don't see you. Tinder suffers sign-in problems following Facebook privacy changes. So, I guess they're doing something with their third-party logins and stuff. And so some article I saw someplace else was saying that people who develop apps, like they having all kinds of error messages and problems because Facebook is trying to get their stuff together. I'm leaving Facebook at the end. As soon as this show is over, I'm leaving. Spring 2018 is when I'm leaving Facebook. And I was talking to this woman today. I'm like, yeah, Facebook is going to be a thing in the past like MySpace. Who has a MySpace account? She's like, I do. I love MySpace. I'm like, huh? So, I don't know. I guess it's a thing of the past for some people. But I think Facebook is about to be a thing of the past for me. So, speaking of the past, that's it. That's all I got for notes on the news. Y'all got any good news going on? Any exciting things going on in your community? Have you visited any Black orphanages or any Black places where, they get no public funding? Myosha, if you're still on the line. I used to like to visit Black boarding schools or like read about Black boarding schools because I had a vision of a Black boarding school. But that whole movement, it's like, it's shifted. It's different. Oh, thank you. All right, I think that's it. Y'all got some good news? Some plans, some visions, some contributions you made, some good food you ate yesterday? Thank you. I need to do that. I haven't. Okay, well, whatever your next steps are, take the next step. If something is a vision, it's a vision for a reason, so just keep taking the next step. All right, that's all I got. Today is the best day ever, and you are the greatest. So be you. Be fabulous. Show him some of the scam videos. Okay, I will. But sing it with me. I'm going to look for him, I guess. I'm going to look for him. Yeah. I'm going to tell my mother to show him. Because sometimes I have a challenge in the direct communication area. Like Alzheimer's type stuff. When am I getting my wrench? I don't know. I don't even know how to do it. How do I do that? See, I do everything on my tablet, so I'm not on my computer. And I don't have anybody who gets on the... okay, so I'm finished with the broadcast, so if you just, the notes on the news is finished. But you know what I noticed when I had that wrench? That the YouTube algorithm, it's like I was getting notices, do you want to post this or not? if somebody said something like, you know, black people need to stick together. It was like some weird stuff. Like, I wish I could have screenshot it, because I'm like, why is this popping up as something that needs to be moderated? I was very confused, and it seemed to be like you noticed that? I was shocked. I'm like, who knew this was going on? What do they have programmed into their system for this? But I do everything on my tablet, so I don't even know how to set it up. And luckily, you know, I haven't had any, I need to set it up. I need to be proactive. So maybe because Poetry had showed me how I could schedule a live. I didn't even know I could schedule, but even in my tablet, I could schedule a live. So where do you go in to give out wrenches and to set up moderators? Is it in your settings? Oh, I have the app for YouTube, like my tools. So maybe on there somewhere. I don't know how to do it. I should just Google it, huh? Yes, the settings. Okay. All right. Well, that's what I got. So what movie we watching? What movie we watching? Is it Friday or Saturday? And are we going to be able to see it? Beside the name to the left, it gives you a drop down in your settings. Hey, Bonafide 1970. Yep, we're totally finished. So you're gonna have, if you want to hear the broadcast, listen to it. I'm still working on it. All right. Yeah, that's what I need to do. Oh, you still working on the movie? You should watch. We should do Two Could Play That Game. Then your people would really hate you, and they'd be like, "We're never coming to a Yappo Yappo movie event again. He had us watching that foolishness." All right, be you. Be fabulous. Be fabulous you. Today is the best day ever. So go out and enjoy it. Peace.